All right, for our first lesson, we're actually going to talk about ways to deliver a speech because most people think if someone asks you to give a speech, you're going to sit down at your computer and start typing out a speech. And that's actually not the best way to do it. People think I'm crazy for saying that because speech writers all over the world, myself included, who get paid to deliver speeches or write speeches for other people, that's what we do. People sit down at their computers and start typing out speeches. But if you do that, then speeches can sometimes sound like you're reading a paper. And here's what we know about speeches. Speeches are meant to be spoken, not read, because public speaking is a speaking activity, not a writing activity. So the first type of speech delivery we are going to talk about is impromptu speaking. Impromptu speaking is when you deliver a speech with little to no notes. And this is not the type of speech we're going to give in our class because it really kind of sounds like winging it for most people. And we never, ever, 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 ever wing a speech. Ever. Not in this class and definitely not professionally. It's a really bad idea. If someone asks you to give a speech kind of last minute, usually they're like, hey, you're here. Can you just give a few words or say a few things about something? You always say, can I have a few moments and go off to the side, prepare a brief outline of what you're going to talk about, rehearse it just a little bit, and then come back and give the speech. Do not ever wing a speech. Winging a speech means that you could be really disorganized. You're probably going to go off topic. You're definitely going to have a really hard time staying on time, and it could really affect your credibility as a speaker. And for most of us, that affects our career because, well, we're giving these speeches for a class or our jobs, and you really don't want that being on the line if you're winging it and you mess that up. Now, there are some real life impromptu speeches that we will have to give, and we'll talk about those later. Things like job interviews or first dates or when we meet our significant other's parents. But in most situations for impromptu speeches, you have some notice and you can kind of prepare for them. But in the real world, winging a speech, bad idea. We are not going to do that in this class or ever. I never, ever, ever let my professional clients wing a speech, and I certainly am not going to let my students wing a speech. So no winging it in this class. So impromptu speeches, out for delivery in this class, not the way we're going to do it. Those are speeches with limited or no preparation, not doing that. In this class, we are always going to prepare our speeches and make sure that we're ready for them so that we seem like credible speakers and we're ready to deliver and speak in front of our audience. That's really the best way to go. And remember, speeches are a speaking activity, not a writing one.